Pisces, welcome to your March 2017 love reading. It's Raina here. And in March, on the 4th of the month, Venus, which is the goddess of love and beauty, and relates to love matters as well as anything aesthetic and also money matters, goes from your second house back to the first. So this transit will be approximately, I would say, about 5.5 weeks or so. It's going to be until about the middle of April. And so during this transit, it will start in the second house and have you reevaluating money matters that relate to the money that you earn. So maybe you need to question, and also this is about your self-worth. So there may be issues. Maybe you need to love yourself more. This may actually affect you in terms of your own sense of self versus affect you in a partnership, because then it goes back into your first house, and that can even lead to evaluation of how you look. But the interesting thing about that is, they say not to do extreme makeovers during Venus transit. So just, what I've heard. The thing about this particular Venus transit, going back into your own sign, is that I think you do have to look at issues related to self-esteem. And that will, in its own way, affect any relationship that you're involved with, okay? Because when we talk about what things are worth, we sometimes reduce it to dollars and cents, and of course that's always a mistake, because we are spiritual beings having a human experience, aren't we? So money is a man-made construct. It's not something that is really a part of us from the beginning of time, and yet it does exist, and we call it currency, so there's energy attached to it. So it's one of those paradoxes, I guess you would call it. But whatever is going on in your relationship to money, self-worth, and even relationships, any Venus transit can bring back old lovers into your life. And so you still may have that occur. So I just wanted to kind of clarify that, and I don't know if I, created 5 more questions with that one so-called clarification, but anyway, so let me begin here. There's that card. I wonder if that's associated with Cancer. I'm not sure. Okay. And it's interesting, Pisces, because when I was looking at this, I did see this Ace of Cups in the challenged position. And then I was thinking, okay, so what's going on that is challenging you with a new relationship? Excuse me right now. And it's probably this card. I'll explain in a sec. The theme is a lot of, there could be just unrest of some sort. The number 5 itself is a number of instability. And when you add the wands, it's a fiery instability. So it can be combative energy. Sometimes it speaks to competition that's not necessarily malicious or anything like that, but is still very boisterous. In love relationships, though, it could be someone that there could be a vibe of someone who feels like their partner is more successful, or that feeling of being competitive within the relationship that is undermining the relationship. So sometimes relationships are fine and the people are compatible in most areas, but one person's ego is out of control because they feel like the other person has more than them or something like this. Would I say that it's going to be always a case where a man is jealous of the woman or envious of the woman? No. Anyone can be envious of anyone else. Gender doesn't really play a role in this, but we're talking about social conditioning. And nowadays, though, since so many women, especially younger women, have been encouraged to work and all that jazz, they can probably feel the same way. But this could have nothing to do with competitiveness. This could have to do with a feeling of either that you're not in harmony with your partner, you're clashing a lot. Let me just keep going. And this is the past position. So this could relate to your partner, that this person is at the root of the conflict or who you're dealing with. This would be someone, now for some of you this could be your boss even, if you're having an affair with your boss. But it could be an earth sign, because pentacles connect to earth energy, or somebody who is very earthy in their mannerisms. Specifically with earth, we're looking at Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but someone who is a business person, and this person may be very successful in their business. Maybe the clash is because you don't have enough, this person doesn't have enough time for you. They may be kind of always involved with things in all kinds of activities, or I should say related to work. So they may be workaholics even. But if they run their own business, they may be so involved with it that they can't give you the proper attention. Pisces people, I think by and large will be loyal to their partner if they get attention and affection. If either of those things are lacking, they will probably look for it elsewhere. I'm not saying that all Pisces people cheat or anything like that, but I think that some signs are, in need of this area of life. They need that kind of feeling of nurturing and that close relationship more than other signs that may be more independent, and they don't mind that this person is working all the time. It may be that there are other, personality clashes between the two of you that have nothing to do with the person's work hours, but I'm trying to include that because I'm sure that does come up in some cases. But for some people, it may be active clashes where you're really having a difference of life direction, and it just seems like everything is off. And maybe there was a time when you got together, you got along very well, and something just started creating friction. But what comes in, or what is a part of this month, is that Six of Cups. So this could be somebody from the past, just like the Venus retrograde talks about. This could be really far past, unless you're 21 years old and high school was just a few years ago. But if you're in your 30s, 40s, and beyond, and you're online and you get reunited with someone that you knew in the distant past, that could happen. And I have joked about this card because I keep getting it, and when I keep seeing something, I want like 11:11. You want to know, okay, there must be something. It's not just a coincidence that this is happening over and over again. Why is this happening? Why do I keep drawing this card? My feeling is that the past is something that we put to bed or to rest. And maybe we're being told that there's no such thing as time. You know, I've heard these wild theories about, you know, there's where we can like time travel and we can go into different we can go into the future of our lives and all this stuff, you know, jumping timelines and all that. Whatever about that, I don't know, but I do know that we're taught that certain things can happen again. And that's not the case. It seems to be that a lot of people are revisiting the past and, you know, discovering that there was a lot of good there. And maybe it's even preferable to some things that they've been experiencing now. One thing to note, though, if you do, you know, decide to reunite with someone, is to realize that you have both, you know, lived different lives in, you know, since you've graduated high school or since you've gone to elementary school, depending on how long you haven't seen this person. And chances are very good that you're not going to see that person. That person won't be who you remembered them to be, because we change so much. And so as long as you can accept that, you know, because you might have this fantasy of like, oh, my high school sweetheart, you know, so great, we had such a great relationship, and that you might have, but you know, people get older and they go through different experiences and they're no longer as naive. And thank God for that. But also, their personalities may not have been fully formed, and all of the things that you remember about them, they may not be like that anymore, and that's okay. You may still be meant to reunite with a certain person from your past. The higher message is the Eight of Cups. And what this says to me is that regardless of whether or not an old flame comes back into your life and you know, maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, you may be leaving a current relationship that is no longer meeting your emotional needs and spiritual needs. And so it may not be that during the month of March you leave, but you may realize that that is necessary in order for you to grow, advance in your life. And actually, this is a card of spiritual quest also. So it does tie into that in terms of like, what does relationship mean to you? Do you feel this sense of completion with that other person? That's, you know, that we talk about with soulmate, where you feel like it's the other part of you. And maybe that's even too dramatic, but just something that feels right. And that doesn't feel like it's somehow is like wearing a shoe that's like too small for you or something like that. That's maybe one sign that you're with your soulmate or somebody. Because, oh, you know, I forgot to tell you, this is the card of the soulmate too. So that, you know, I was limiting it to, you know, high school sweethearts, but actually, the reason I said that is because I was thinking of Venus retrograde, and I was thinking of your past relationships. But, you know, who knows? Maybe Venus retrograde could bring people from a past life into your reality. And that could be your soulmate. Okay. What crosses you is another Cups card, which is the Ace of Cups. Now, this is what I was kind of alluding to at the beginning. The Ace of Cups is the beginning of a relationship that's on the soul level that would go right along with that Six of Cups. But since it's in the challenged position, it suggests that there may be delays in the two of you actually hooking up. And I mean, you know, even having a relationship. I don't mean one night stand or anything like that. So it could be simply that both of you have loose ends that you have to tie up in your relationship. Perhaps, other relationships that you're currently in, you're including marriages, things that are considered, more serious relationships, or that perhaps you have, maybe there's something going on in terms of other, like your career or something that, stands in the way. Now, because we're talking about in March that the retrograde begins and it goes until April, things may settle down once Venus goes direct, and maybe you'll be able to see things clearer, and the relationship can begin to take off on a more organic level and, kind of work out more for you. And what comes in is Seven of Cups. It could also relate to advice about what to do. The Seven of Cups is about having a lot of choices, but having to make good choices. So you may have, for whatever reason, maybe because you're having your solar return, Pisces, that you're having this sense of renewal. In the Northern Hemisphere, it's spring. You may, it's interesting. I'm sure Pisces people particularly, and early Aries people, feel that vernal equinox a lot more than the average person because it's happening during their birthday month. But that sense of feeling alive again, that may translate into your romantic life, where maybe all of a sudden things start to open up for you. You're going to have Venus in your own sign. Even in retrograde motion, the Venus is, it gives you, in your own sign, it gives you that sense of, I was going to say charisma, but it's just an attractive force, and it attracts good to you. And so you have to make sure that you're not choosing things based on any kind of illusions or delusions, and that you're really, like, your head is on straight as you're navigating your life, and that you're not getting caught up in fantasy, because this can indicate that there's a lot out there for you to choose, but it's like, what is real, what isn't real? Your planet Neptune kind of connects with this type of illusory nature, and it can be confusion, this card. So you may be a little bit unsure of what to do. As I say, the spiritual message is that you have to honor your soul's mission, or whatever you want to call it, your higher self. Maybe there's things that you want to do from a worldly perspective, but just realize that a lot of those things, it may not lead to what you're looking for, which is a new sense of love, especially if you've been in a relationship that's contentious, which the Five of Wands suggests for some of you. Remember, this is a general reading. Some of these cards may totally seem out of left field for you. So just take it with a grain of salt. But if it does ring true, realize that there is a reason why we go through these things. And we may be kind of really trying to figure it out. But sometimes we just have to, realize that it's for our highest good, even if we can't intellectually wrap our brains around why it's happening. The outcome is the Emperor, and this is a card associated with Aries. And actually, that Five of Wands, that could be an Aries person, because Aries people tend to be very combative, and Aries is right next to you astrologically. As an outcome card, This may just be like you becoming much more self-empowered by your decisions. Maybe you're leaving a relationship, and that is having a great, you know, influence or impact on you, because maybe you didn't realize how much a negative relationship was hindering you or upsetting you, kind of like keeping you from doing what you wanted to do. And now you feel a sense of control over your life, because the Emperor is all about law and order. This could have to do with a person that you end up with that is in the military or a police officer. They could be under the sign of Aries, but I have associated with Capricorn myself. Also, this could relate to, you doing something legally. Maybe you have decided that you are going to get divorced. Maybe that person that from your past is an Aries, or they have a position that is associated. They have a law enforcement position. But the number 4 is related to stability. So this person can be a stabilizing influence in your life if they are another person, if it's not a facet of yourself. If it is a facet of yourself, it makes you more in that mode of building, of trying to, I was going to say stable, but I'm looking for another word for stable. I don't want to keep using the same words, but there is a stability. There is a sense of orderly. And it's kind of like a conservative thing where it's very serious and disciplined, but sometimes that's the exact thing that we need. The 5 of Wands is chaotic. Okay, so it's a contrast. Maybe it's of 2 relationships. One was very chaotic and combative, and the other one is very under control, full of very orderly. And because it's a number 4, it's something that is reliable, that you can count on, and that can build into something even more permanent. There's a permanence attached to it. So Pisces, I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great month of March. Bye.